as they were in the heyday of their ascendancy. How we look forward to the age which is dawning, the age of crystal, the pure white light of dawn gradually breaking, and in a short space of time all will see the full blaze and glory of this approaching day. Then there will be no darkness, no limitation. Does not this suggest that there must be eternal progress? If not, all must return to that form, to that from which it sprang, the universal substance. All must progress or go back. There is no halfway point, no stopping place. When your nation does recognize its true estate or mission, and joins hands with Spirit and expresses as God wishes it to express, or lets the Spirit unfold from within, we can see for your great nation a marvel far transcending the power of any human tongue to describe. There is no question but that it took the great strong beak and talons of the eagle to hold your nation together during its development. But when the true spiritual light comes, it will be seen that the dove is mightier than the eagle, and the dove will protect what the eagle now guards. Look at the words on the coin you send into every avenue of the world trade. In God we trust, and E Pluribus Unum. One composed of many, the very slogan of spirit when the dove replaces the eagle on the life medium of such a nation. The talk ended here, and Emal went on to say that he would leave us for a short time, as he wished to go to meet some of the others who were assembling in a village 200 miles away. He said he would rejoin us at a small village 60 miles away, at which we would arrive in about 4 days. He then disappeared, and with 4 outers joined us 4 days later in a small village on the frontier. Next chapter. The day we arrived at this village was very rainy, and we were all drenched to the skin. We were assigned to very comfortable quarters with a large, comfortably furnished room that we could use as a dining and sitting room. This room was exceedingly warm and cheery, and one of our party asked where the heat came from. We all looked around but could not find a stove or any place where the heat came from, although there was a warm glow that was very noticeable. We wondered at this, but did not say much, as we were becoming accustomed to surprises, and were quite certain that all would be made plain later on. We had just seated ourselves at the dinner table when Emal and the 4 came in. We did not know where they came from. They all appeared at one end of the room simultaneously, and at the end of the room where they were no openings. They appeared there without any noise or display, and walked quietly to the table where Emal introduced the others. Then they sat down as though perfectly at home. Before we realized it, the table was filled with good things to eat, but no meat. These people do not eat meat, nor anything that has conscious life. After the meal was finished and we were sitting around the table, one of our party asked how the room was warmed. Emal said, "The warmth that you feel in this room comes from a force that we are all able to contact and use. This force or power is higher than any of your mechanical force or power, but can be contacted by man and used as light, heat, and power, even to the driving of all mechanical appliances. It is what we call a universal force. If you were to contact and use this force, you would call it perpetual motion. We call it universal power, God power, supplied by the Father to work for all his children. It will turn and moor every mechanical device, furnish transportation without the consumption of fuel in any way, and will also furnish heat and light. It is everywhere present without money or price, and can be contacted and used by all." One of our party asked if the food had been prepared by this force. We were told that the food came prepared as we had eaten it, direct from the universal, just the same as the bread and the other provisions that had been supplied heretofore. We were then invited by Emal to accompany the group to their home about 200 miles distance, where we would meet Emal's mother. He went on to say, "My mother is one who has so perfected her body that she was able to take it with her and go on and receive the highest teachings. Therefore she is living in the invisible at all times. She is doing this from choice, as she wishes to receive the highest, and by receiving the highest teachings, she is able to greatly assist us. In order to make this clear to you, I might say that she has gone on until she has reached the celestial realm, as you would call it, the place where Jesus is. This place is sometimes called the seventh heaven. To you, I suppose, this suggests the mystery of mysteries. Let me say that there is no mystery about it. It is a place in consciousness where every mystery is revealed. Those who have reached that state of consciousness are outside the mortal vision, but they can return and converse and teach those who are receptive. They can come in their own bodies, for they have so perfected their bodies that they can go where they will with them. They are able to return to earth without reincarnation. Those who have passed through death are obliged to be reincarnated in order to return to earth with a body. This body was given to us as a spiritual, perfect body, and we must so see and keep the body in order to retain it. Those who have left the body and have gone on in spirit now realize that they must again take up a body and go on and perfect it. It was arranged before leaving the table that evening that the party should divide into 5 groups, each group in charge of one of the 5 that had appeared in the room and taken dinner with us. This would enable us to cover a larger field and would greatly facilitate our work, and at the same time it would enable us to verify such things as traveling in the invisible and thought transference. This plan would give us at least 2 of our men in each party and 1 of the 5 as leader. We would be quite widely separated, yet we were to keep in touch through those who were so greatly befriending us and giving us every opportunity to prove their work. Next chapter. The next day, all details were arranged, and 3 of our party, including myself, were to accompany Emil and Jast. The morning following found each party with its guide and attendants all ready to depart in different directions, with the understanding that we should carefully observe and record all that occurred, and should meet 60 days later at Emil's home in the village, just spoken of, 200 miles distant. We were to keep in communication with each other through our friends. This was accomplished each evening by these friends conversing with each other or traveling back and forth from party to party. If we wished to communicate with our chief or with any other member of our party, all we need do was to give our message to our friends, and in an incredible short time we would have the answer. In giving these messages, each would write them out in full and note the time to the minute on each message. Then when the answer came, we would do the same. When we came together again, we compared notes and found that all notes corresponded. Aside from this, our friends would travel from one camp to another and converse with us. We kept accurate records of these appearances and disappearances. Also, we noted the time, the place, and the conversations, and all checked fully when we compared notes later. At times after this, we were widely separated. One party would be in Persia, one in China, one in Tibet, one in Mongolia, and one in India, always accompanied by our friends. At times they traveled in the invisible, as we called it, distances as great as 1,000 miles, and kept us informed as to the happenings and progress of each camp. The destination of the party to which I was assigned proved to be a small village to the southwest, located on an elevated plateau well up in the foothills of the Himalayas.